Watermelon Rita. Tiny little things. Apparently there's a holiday in Canada on Monday and all businesses are closed. I have no idea what holiday is in Canada on Monday. Black mold money. That's what we're going to talk about today. If this is your first time to this channel, if you're coming over from the other channel, that would be the Handyman, where I put out 2 videos on repairing some water damaged drywall that also had a good amount of mold in it. And we talked about mold remediation, we talked about bleach, spraying bleach on mold, but what we didn't talk about was money. And that's what this channel is about. Nothing but money. Making as much money as we can for as long as we can from repeat customers. And I want to stress that last point, repeat customers. That's what I based my business off of. That's where all my business success has come from, is repeat customers and zero marketing. My customers do all the marketing for me. The main questions, or the main topics of discussion today, is what I charge for this job, the negotiations and the interactions to get that dollar figure, and oh Jesus, ringing. Someone's calling me from Florida. This is the topic of discussion here. The negotiations, and the most important one that people are asking is why I didn't want to do that simple, real easy plumbing repair for an extra couple $100. To start with, this is a long time customer. I've done a lot of jobs. I've done an addition for them. I've done carpeted stairs. I finished a basement for them. I've done a lot of handyman work for them. I've done a lot of repairs for them, light fixtures, doorknobs, everything. They call me year after year after year. It's about 5 years that they've been a customer. They've been a customer of mine since before I was uploading videos on YouTube, since before I was even recording video of my projects. They've been on the higher end of my paying customers, but I needed to bump them up a little bit. And I did that on this job. It was a perfect job to bump them up in the pay scale. The customer didn't really know the level of mold or how much mold was in that wall cavity there. All as he did is he poked his hand through it and he pulled out some chunks of drywall and made that initial hole and looked in there and said, "Oh boy, better call the handyman." Actually, no, his wife said, "You better call the handyman." She's always the one that wants him to stop trying to do stuff and me to do the stuff. I lost my train of thought there for a second. They call me up, I come over, I take a look at it, and I initially thought it was going to be one swath. I did take it over further underneath the window. So my price was $2,500. That's going to get you removal and replacement. The studs are coming out, the insulation's coming out, new studs going in, new insulations going in, new drywall, joint compound, texture, brand new baseboard, primer, paint, pretty much just a turnkey service, and keeping the dust under control. Keeping my plastic room that I put up around there, that really impresses every customer, especially the fan in the window. Whenever they see me get those poles out and put up a full plastic wall, they just think, wow, I'm getting a lot for my money. But they didn't get to see all that. They just had me tell them that, yes, this is what you're getting, $2,500. I started seeing his wheels turn, and he started asking a few questions, like, so how long do you think this is going to take you? And I said, well, there's a lot of dry time in this. I got to remove everything, take everything to the dump, expose the wall with a fan on it. I'm going to remove some of those 2x4s, I guarantee you. Keep in mind, I'm only looking at a little hole at this point in time. So we need to let that dry out till the moisture comes down. Then this drywall, tape, texture, paint, a new baseboard. It's an MDF baseboard that they had. I said, it's blown up and swollen. I probably could treat it and sand it, but I'm just going to get you a whole new baseboard. And he's still, the wheels are still turning. He's trying to do some math in his head, and I can see that. $2,500. This stage, there's a tiny little hole in his wall. Doesn't look like there's much damage. Doesn't look like there's $2,500 in damage there. There is. Trust me, there is. Another very important point to this scenario is they had a plumber come out first. And he looked under the sink. He said, I don't see any leaks. The leak is somewhere in your basement, in the ceiling, or in the wall. Because I can get a sledgehammer out and start knocking holes in your wall, but drywall isn't my specialty. That's when they decided okay, we don't want this crazy plumber coming in with a sledgehammer. And the customer used those exact words, sledgehammer. Like, I guess that's what the guy said. He said he was going to use a sledgehammer. So that's why I thought to myself, I probably should just have this guy come back. It's not about the liability. There is no liability. And all you guys that are in business should get in touch with your business attorney and get some clarification. Oh my God, getting blown up. Get some clarification on being sued for negligence. You have to really show gross negligence to be sued. So there really isn't, gluing that back together and putting a coupler on there. There's no liability there. If it leaks again, it leaks again. No one's getting sued. One thing is I know the area, and I know what people charge to work on homes in that area. And since I saw him trying to do the math, I said, okay, I'm going to just push this one off to the plumber. All I got to do is the drywall insulation and 2x4s, texture and paint. Piece of cake. Keep it simple. And I knew that plumber was going to charge a specific dollar amount for a very simple task. So they agreed to my $2,500. I open it up. I take the 2x4s out. I take some initial moisture readings. They were like in the 60% range. So I had him dry it out. He got the plumber in there, I think 2 or 3 days later, to get it fixed. They had no intention of not using their sink for any period of time. I told them you should hold off on using your sink until you get this 90-degree elbow repaired, glued up. No, I was cleaning up and they were using it, and I'm watching it still drip. I'm like, okay, whatever. It'll take longer to dry out. So the plumber, and what did he charge for his 25 minutes of work? Most of the guesses were very close. It was $350. I think most of the guesses were $320 to $400. So you guys were right there. There were some people that were guessing down into like the $150 mark, and if he paid over $150, he got ripped off. But I knew that he was going to charge in that range, just like most of you knew how much they were going to charge. And I knew the customer was going to do the math. He says, okay, $350 for 20 minutes of work. Handyman, $2,500 for 8 hours, and significantly more work and travel time and material. So just giving him perspective of what skilled trades are charging, 100% validated and gave them high value for their money. They got a better deal with me than they got with the plumber. I hope that makes sense, me trying to put that into words. Because I knew the plumber was going to charge a lot relative to the time that he spent there. And I knew the customer was trying to do the math in his head of how much these guys are making per hour. So it solidified the high value for the money for my side of the project. Well, there you go. That's it. Are there any other questions that I can answer for you? I told you how much the plumber charged. I told you how much I charged, and I told you why I didn't do the plumbing repair. It was not because of the liability. It was because I knew what the market in that area pays for skilled labor, and I knew the customer wasn't quite sure, and I wanted to bring in some outside help to pretty much validate the high value for the money on my portion of the project. All right, no, and I don't think that he got ripped off for the plumbing work. It's a small plumbing company. It's just 2 guys. They never work together. There's just 2 guys and 2 vans, and sometimes they team up together to do larger projects like a major addition or a large finished basement. So they don't have like huge overhead. They don't have office space or a warehouse or anything like that. All right, I'm about done with my watermelon Rita. I'm going to get into my second one while I edit this video. Sorry for the delay on this video. I should have had this one out first. The summer season is going like crazy. It's going great. The repeat customers, they just keep coming back. I highly encourage you guys to find that high value for the money for your customers And that is pretty much all the advertising you need. And they will keep coming back and they will keep referring you out, and you never have to worry about work. You don't ever have to worry about having a marketing budget. The phone just keeps ringing, or in these days, the text messages keep coming. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate all your comments and all your suggestions. Any chemists out there, please feel free to fill us in on why it's against the internet laws to spray bleach on mold. Till the next one, what should the next one be? Leave some more suggestions for this channel, the Handyman Business Channel, and what you would like me to talk about, or questions and discussions that I can lead through the video and we can continue in the comments. Cheers.